Today we're diving into the topic of choosing the perfect backpacking stove for your on-trail adventures. I'll be talking about the different stove types, the pros, the cons, and how to choose the right stove for your backpacking trip. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If we're just meeting, my name is Soul Tackler. On this channel, we talk about all things backpacking, gear, tips, tricks, and hacks. Everything to inspire you to get out on the trail. Now, let's talk about backpacking stoves. First things first, we'll go over the three main types of backpacking stoves: canister stoves, liquid fuel stoves, and alternative fuel stoves. Canister stoves are easy to use and are low maintenance and are very affordable. They screw onto the threaded tops of closed fuel canisters that contain two types of pressurized gases, isobutane and propane. Some of these stoves are incredibly small, fold up compactly, and weigh just a few ounces. These stoves are ideal for those who prioritize minimizing weight and space. They're user-friendly and typically featuring a simple design with easy ignition and flame control. That makes them suitable for beginners and for anyone who wants a hassle-free cooking experience. Canister stoves are known for their quick boil times, efficiently heating water for meals and beverages. This is particularly advantageous when you're out on the trail and want a speedy hot meal or drink. They perform well in a variety of conditions, including moderate weather. Many canister stove systems can handle altitude changes without significant impact on performance, making them versatile for different types of environments. Canister stoves burn cleanly, producing minimal residue and leaving little impact on the environment. Canisters are easily replaceable and the fuel is pressurized, eliminating the need for any sort of priming. This simplicity adds to the overall convenience of using a canister stove system. The isobutane gas cans are easy to find in outdoor stores, making it easily accessible for resupplying while out on a long section or through hike. Integrated canister stoves. Additionally, in the canister stove class of stoves, there are the integrated canister stoves. These tall profile cooking systems feature a burner that screws onto a fuel canister and pairs seamlessly with a twist-on insulated cooking pot with a lid and usually drain holes or a sip hole. In general, they're designed to boil water quickly and not so famous for simmering. Some models, like the JetBoil Minimo, let you have a pot stabilizer which allows you to add a different type of pot or pan onto that, increasing your versatility. They boil water fast and efficiently, in part thanks to the built-in windscreen. Some of these stoves also have a built-in pressure regulator that allows for consistent performance in low temperatures and at higher elevations. However, compared to standard canister stoves, the integrated stove systems are heavier. Remote canister stoves. The last type of stove in the canister stove category is a remote canister system. This stove sits on its own base and has a fuel hose that connects to the canister. They're typically packed down small and are lightweight, although you'll add a few more ounces in bulk compared to a standard canister stove. On some models, the canister can be used in an inverted position to improve the cold weather performance. These stoves may have wider support arms for a larger pot stability. A windscreen can be used with the remote canister stove type because the windscreen is going around the flame, not around the fuel canister. The pros and cons of canister stove systems. The pros. They're small and lightweight. They're quick to light, no priming necessary. Before lighting a canister stove, simply turn the valve and light a match. The flame adjusts easily and simmers fairly well. The canister self-seals when you unscrew the stove, so there's no worry about spills or leaks. And some canister stoves have a built-in pressure regulator to provide consistent heat output throughout the life of the canister. This also improves cold weather and high elevation performance as well. The cons. Their arms might not be long enough to hold larger pots securely. It's tough to know how much gas you have inside the closed canister, so you find yourself having a lot of half-empty gas cans because you're never certain how much fuel you have. A windscreen should never be used with a regular canister stove system because it can trap excessive heat and lead to the fuel exploding. In cold weather, canisters can depressurize and produce a weak flame unless it has a regulator compared to other type of liquid fuel stoves, which we'll talk about later. Empty canisters need to be disposed of properly, and you'll want to research recycling options near you. Liquid fuel stoves are versatile, working in various conditions. They're great for longer trips and in extreme weather. Keep in mind they're a bit bulkier and require more maintenance. All liquid fuel stoves run on white gas. Liquid fuel stoves function at lower temperatures, making them a preferred choice for winter camping or high altitude expeditions where other types of stoves might struggle. These stoves often have a longer burn time compared to canister stove. They're beneficial for extended trips where you need to conserve fuel or for situations where resupplying fuel may be a challenge. There are multi-stove fuels available in this category that can run on unleaded gas, kerosene, or even diesel. You need to make sure that the stove is considered a multi-stove so that you can use those alternative fuels. The fuel versatility for this really makes the multi-stove fuel a great choice for international travelers who face limited choices outside the US. There are downsides to liquid fuel stoves. Liquid fuel stoves require priming, which involves igniting a few drops of fuel in the cup below the burner, which creates a small flame that preheats the fuel line. This enables the stove to convert a liquid fuel into a vapor so that it works properly. You'll also need to pressurize the fuel bottle itself by pumping it, and then do that throughout the use. They also require periodic maintenance, such as cleaning the fuel hose or replacing O-rings in the stove and on the fuel bottle. They do sell maintenance kits that you can use, or you can actually send it out to a company that will do the maintenance for you. Fuel spills are possible. They tend to be heavier than canister stove systems. Multi-fuel stoves can cost a bit more for those models, and those fuels have more impurities than regular white gas, and over time they do tend to clog. The pros of liquid stoves: they tend to be low profile and offer greater stability even on uneven ground. They're easy to tell how much fuel you have by just looking into the fuel bottle. These stoves perform better than other options at higher elevations and in cold temperatures, for sure. Hey everyone, Hill Tackler here, just jumping in here real quick before we get on with the rest of the video. If you're enjoying the content, to consider subscribing, hit the notification bell and smash that like button. It helps the channel grow. Let's get back to it. Alternative stoves. Alcohol stoves are light, usually a few ounces at most. They're relatively cheap. There are many DIY options, as well as other options made by cottage brand companies such as Trail Designs, which makes the Caldera Cone, which are among the most efficiently burning alcohol stoves that I've ever used. If you're using the Caldera Cone system, the cone is made for the specific pot so that it works the most efficiently. The reason they're so efficient is the enclosure and the height of the flame from the pot. It's an all-in-one system. Costs of these are obviously more expensive than the cat can ones or some other ones that are made from other companies, but they're certainly worth the money. 30 ml of denatured alcohol with this system will boil 8 ounces of water in a mere 4 to 5 minutes at most warmer temperatures. You can use these in colder weather as well. However, it takes more fuel to boil colder water. It will work, but the question becomes then, how long do you want to wait to boil water? I've taken my system into winter and melted snow, which I wouldn't recommend, as it took a very long time, and I was kind of cold by the time my snow melted and made water. But it is possible. The pros of an alcohol stove are by far the weight savings in the stove itself, but also in the fact is that you know exactly how much fuel you have, and you know exactly how much fuel to bring. And as you move through the trip, your fuel is being used and you're not carrying around an empty metal canister. They require no maintenance because they don't have any moving parts. Denatured alcohol is available in hardware stores. Gas stations carry heat, which is about the same thing. Cons is that it does take longer to boil water, nearly double the 2 to 3 minutes that it would with a canister stove. And it's not really for gourmet hikers, as you can really just boil water. Solid fuel stoves like Esbit are compact and lightweight, perfect for minimalist backpackers. Simply light the Esbit tab, pop your pot on top of the flame, and there you have it. There's not much more to them than that. Can't really control the size of the flame. The limiting factors for this fuel is that the increased boil time. There are several types of different stoves that are made by Esbit brand itself and some other companies, which you need to pair with a windscreen. About the best and most efficient that I've ever used in my experience is the Caldera Cone system with their graham cracker stove. These systems are, again, among the lightest and most efficient, and I find that this really cuts down on the boil time and improves the efficiency of my Esbit tab. This is my personal go-to system in summer months. I really like the ease and efficiency, as well as the fact that I can pack exactly how much fuel I need. there's no spillage, and I don't have to carry around an empty gas can throughout my trip. The pros of a solid fuel burning stove. They're compact and light, easy to use and cost effective. Fuel tabs are easy to transport and you'll never risk any spillage. The cons, slower cooking times than canister stoves for sure. The fuel tabs are a little more expensive. The tabs can be tricky to buy as not everywhere stocks them, so that's something to keep in mind if you're resupplying. They are a little bit smelly. It's not really a deal breaker. All of your other gear won't smell, but if you do put them to your face, you will smell them. I tend to put mine in an op sack and just double wrap them in a plastic bag, and I never usually have a problem. The other thing is you can't control the size of the flame. Now that you know the stove types, consider your needs. Think about the length of your trips, the climate you're going to encounter, how many people are in your group, the type of meals you're planning to cook. Your stove choice should align with these factors. Opt for a lightweight model that won't weigh you down and also won't add too much bulk to your backpack. Time is of the essence in the great outdoors. Look for a stove with a quick boil time, especially if you're always on the move. Efficiency matters when you're hungry and just want a hot meal or drink. So, can you just have one stove for all seasons? The answer is, it depends. If you're a 3-season backpacker, I think the one stove that can meet most of your needs is a canister type stove, such as the Pocket Rocket, the BSR, or one of the many other brands that makes these screw-on type of stoves. They are lightweight, fuel efficient, reliable, and affordable, and easy to use. If you pair this type of stove with a lightweight pot, I think it's a very good option and can take you through most all of your trips. So if you're a 4-season backpacker and you intend to do any snow camping, having only one stove in your kit is probably not possible. You will certainly need a white gas stove. They're clunky, they're heavy, and they are loud, but they are the best option for true winter backpacking. There's certainly more of a learning curve with these stoves. They need to be primed and pressurized. But when it comes to efficiency and reliability in sub-zero temperatures, a white gas stove such as the MSR XGK or a Whisper Light is really the gold standard. And here's my one pro tip, is to practice with the stove before your first winter trip of the year. Make sure it works correctly, make sure it doesn't need any maintenance. Before my first winter trip of every season, I drag my MSR XGK out to the yard and I give it a go. I boil a pot of water, making sure that I can attach the fuel hose efficiently, that I pressurize it correctly, that I haven't lost my skill in priming the stove. There is definitely a learning curve with this, and because the last thing you want to do is get out on trail, be cold after snowshoeing all day, and get to camp and then be fiddling around with your stove trying to boil water to stay warm. So tell me in the comments below, what's your go-to stove and why? Or what stove are you thinking about choosing for your trips this year? Check out this video over here where I talk about my 5 must-have pieces of backpacking gear for your kit. As always, I hope you're enjoying the content. Consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode, and smash that like button. It helps the channel grow.